The U.S. government is expected to announce a major investment of $1.2 billion into the future of artificial intelligence and quantum computing today. It's to create research institutes dedicated to advancing the fields of study. So the goal of all this is, of course, to stay ahead of China and Europe when it comes to the utilization of advanced technology. So these research institutes will help facilitate the cross-collaboration of private industries, educational facilities, and the government so that they can all be using the most advanced tech. But why AI and quantum computing? Well, artificial intelligence is something we're all familiar with at this point, whether it's our home assistants or algorithms that use our social media data to send us advertisements. AI is only going to grow in use and complexity in the coming years, so that makes sense to establish and invest in the intellectual infrastructure that we'll need to manage it. Now, quantum computing is something that is only barely beginning, and honestly, the actual working of it is really complicated, but the potential is huge. To put it simply, there are certain complex problems that even our fastest computers right now would take billions of years to solve. Quantum computers could solve those same problems in seconds or less. So it's a pretty obvious advantage. Now, it's expected that there will be 12 different research centers announced, each receiving the funds from the National Quantum Initiative Act. Keep in mind, we're only at the infant stages of these two types of tech. So what comes out of this research has some extreme potential to change everything. And by the way, this is the same type of cross-collaboration that happened during the Manhattan Project to develop the atomic bomb. So let's just hope this isn't the prequel to Skynet. But you can read more about the details about this initiative at digitaltrends.com. DJI has introduced an update to its line of mobile gimbals, and this new one is packed with some tech you might normally find on a drone. So for the sequel, they shortened the product name of the previous version, which was called DJI Osmo Mobile 3, to the brand new DJI OM4. The OM4 has 3 axis points and some updated stabilization features with new motors and shooting modes, and part of that improvement includes an upgrade on the mounting features for the phone. So the old version had a clamp-style attachment that you put your phone in. The new one has that option, but also uses a magnetic feature with a ring holder that allows you to quickly mount the phone, and it means you don't have to balance it before you use it. That can be a pain if you've used these before. So they've also incorporated some tech that, like I said, you normally see in their Mavic drones with the inclusion of Active Track 3.0. So this means it can differentiate between objects much better than before. Like if it's tracking an adult walking through a scene, it could ignore pets or kids that would otherwise cause it to waver from what it's following. So there's also some new shooting modes to give you a pre-programmed cinematic look, dynamic zooms, spin shots, sports mode, panoramas, time lapses, and a bunch of others. The battery life is set at about 15 hours, and it can charge your phone at the same time. And the retail price is $150. We've got a lot more detail and information about the DJI OM4 at digitaltrends.com, so head on over there to check it all out. Apple wants your television shows to be more interactive and is reportedly looking to add augmented reality features to them. So Apple TV Plus launched just under a year ago, and despite a pretty staggering array of expensive talent like Tom Hanks and Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston and so on, it's so far not quite performed as well as they had hoped. So according to Bloomberg, that's why they're looking to enhance the TV experience, which would come in the form of bonus content. So one use case of an AR feature would be the ability to superimpose items or people from a show you're watching into your living room. For example, they have the show called Mankind, which tells an alternate version of the moon landing where the Soviets get there first. So you could look at the show through your iPhone or an iPad and then put a virtual moon lander in your living room or on your coffee table, which I guess makes it that much more real. So, or another example would be, say, a director like Steven Spielberg could be in your living room, sitting on your couch, giving you the commentary as you watch the movie. So some of it could be kind of cool. Apple's also been working on an AR or mixed reality headset for a long time now, and the other part to this report is that headset itself. So the AR content for the shows is expected to debut sometime in 2021, but the headset could be coming the following year. Now, if AR content is part of the future of Apple TV Plus, though, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe a small demonstration of the abilities at the Apple event that's supposed to be coming up sometime soon. So we'll let you know what we find out, and stay tuned to all the details at digitaltrends.com. The search for new planets just received a big boost from artificial intelligence. David Armstrong is a researcher at the University of Warwick in the UK, and his team utilized AI to verify 50 new exoplanets, or planets which revolve around stars other than our sun, from an old dataset gathered from NASA's Kepler mission. So part of the issue of identifying exoplanets is that it takes a lot of time to analyze the data. Generally speaking, you can't conventionally see an exoplanet, so you have to monitor a star for a long time. You have to analyze whether there is the slightest dip in light or something passing in front of it, then take a look at light wavelengths to see if there's a gravitational wobble. It's a lot of data. But what these researchers did is train the AI on other data from that same mission by feeding it cases where they positively identified a planet and then teaching it how to do the same. So now, rather than the scientists themselves going through the data, the AI can determine with 99% accuracy and a lot faster what should be labeled a valid planet. So it saves a tremendous amount of time that they can spend doing on other research. And this is just the start. So it's not like the AI stops learning and refining, so it'll just constantly get better. So who knows what kind of discoveries could be made from this, but it's pretty exciting. You could read more about it at digitaltrends.com.